Hello and welcome to Stage 2 of the Formula One Honda Japanese Grand Prix. For Stage 1 information, please check the video. A playlist will be at the end of this one. That's where I get into all of the upgrade costs and the best car choice. I'm driving the Mercedes. I've already got the upgrades I need to finish the very last stage applied. That way, I only have to learn how this car handles once. I don't have to keep adjusting every time I add more upgrades. Now, 70 seconds of drafting to get in. Obviously, this is the downside of applying all your required upgrades right at the start, is that you're going to bash the snot out of someone else's car. But, oh well. So you don't want to get too close to him, because then he's going to start to wiggle and try to lose you. So just stay a little bit back. You can see here when I'm tapping him, like, he's really braking a lot on the S's. There's no reason for that. I haven't dialed in how to handle the S's yet. So you'll see in Stage 1 I was flying way off track because I didn't practice. I wanted to show you guys what it's like just to start without practice in a new car. Now I've driven Suzuka thousands of times. I haven't done it in this exact car. Certainly I've done it in other Formula One cars in other seasons. Suzuka wasn't available in every single season, but eventually in the individual series it was, but there wasn't always a Japanese Grand Prix. So, we're going to get in our 70 seconds here pretty soon, and the race might just end. Yes, it just ends. So you never know what they're going to do. Sometimes the race keeps going, and this time it just ended, and it gave me first place, even though I was in second place. Thank you so much, Fire Monkeys. Fire Monkeys are the developers of Real Racing 3. Used to be separate studio, and then Electronic Arts acquired them. Anyway, but I don't know. I think they still have their sort of autonomy. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. In a stage like this, you certainly don't have to worry about your top speed. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I sometimes like to drive forwards while looking backwards. It's a little bit tricky to keep your car straight. Now, let's see what I can do. I'm going to keep the hammer down through the S's here. I think I got a brake, so I can take this full throttle, this full throttle, this full throttle, and I think I need a light braking point here. Okay, that was obviously too much on the brakes. And I don't know, maybe I just need a slight lift point. We'll dial that in yet. Then this. Then obviously got to get on the brakes here. So far so good. This is always a tricky corner, this hairpin. It's tight. I definitely was braking too late. So there you go. Not much I can do about that. As I get my braking points more dialed, I'll share with you some of my reference points. This corner can be so much fun in these cars. Obviously I didn't maximize it because I wasn't going to the far right and utilizing the curb. So I'll dial that in more and more. Now I do know for sure here, I want to be braking just after the first distance marker on the left. Or you can do that. Did you know about that? Anyway, I wouldn't recommend that too much, and I know some of you hardcore Formula One fans are going, foul, foul. Where are the not the marshals. Oh gosh, they're not called marshals. Stewards, there we go. Yes, they would be freaking out, even though I didn't gain, but of course you can't do that. Nonetheless, it's good to sometimes know some of the tricks in case you run into trouble. But I won't be using that very much here. I don't think I'll use it again. Now, let's see here, what do we got? Oh, interesting, 7,000 meters of drafting at Suzuka. Huh, well, if you know Suzuka, then that'll be interesting. This is where you realize that the measurement isn't meters, the measurement isn't yard, the measurement is Roman cubits. And I know sometimes you guys, you'll put that in the comments, it's so funny. It's just, that's what it is. When I did the math on the measurement, that's what it is. 44.444 centimeters or 17.48 inches. They don't know why it happened and they can't ever change it because it would screw up every single flashback event. So we're stuck with it. Like, how could I possibly get 2,000 meters of drafting in already? That was not 2 kilometers. Sorry dudes, it just ain't. And if you're working in miles, 1.6 kilometers, really is closer to 1.61 kilometers is 1 mile. Anyhow, obviously there's a mess up here. Basically you get 2.25 meters for every meter that you travel. So that's cool. No worries, man. And yes, you got to be careful of those curb hops. Did you know that when your car is in midair and if you're steering hard left or hard right, you can do a very fast 180 in the air and land backwards. So you got to watch when you're that one dog leg there. It's not really a dog leg, it is a bit of a sharper corner. You can end up spinning right around there, baby. It's kind of fun. Okay, so basically 1,200 meters of drafting to go. Just look at that. Holy smokes, and suddenly it's all done? That was nowhere near 1,200 meters. Anyway, you know, you've heard me talk about it a lot, so we'll move on from here. It's just funny. When I talked to the developers about it, they said they just have no idea how it happened. Just some sort of a glitch. And yes, my research took me all the way back to the Roman cubits, because there's different cubits for different civilizations. C-U-B-I-T. Yes, I'm saying cubit, ancient measurement. All right, so we've got degrading tires. And again, you know, this is what's awesome when you've already got all these upgrades, is it's just a joke. I'm not concerned one bit about bots getting more and more difficult. In recommended PR events, I still see guys like me always do minimum requirements because we don't want to see the bots get harder. Oh, that's dangerous. Well, we'll see what that does to me. Gosh, that's annoying when that happens. Some people are saying that bot slowing no longer matters, and I'm hoping to find a way to do a test. Because if that's true, that means a major metric has changed, because that's a core part of programming for Real Racing 3. And that is the faster you finish a race, like if you finish in the top 3, you're generally going to be facing harder opponents the next time you go into that race, just anywhere in the game. But if you start finishing lower than that, like 8th or lower, they're going to make it easier for you. So they did that so that the game can stay somewhat competitive, but not totally make you frustrated if it's getting harder and harder for you. And we manipulate that in PR, recommended PR events. This is required PR, which means if you don't have enough upgrades, you can't even enter a race. Recommended PR, it's a lot about your abilities, but sometimes like in the Ferrari SF90, it came down to a certain point, you just had no choice. You had to buy upgrades because you just weren't fast enough. And that just happens. And they have become smart to our manipulation of things, and now they manipulate us and force us to finish first in all sorts of races. So that makes me think this is still in place. Anyhow, it's very possible that it's changed, and I'm just looking to do a test at some point. Okay, so this is when the car starts to get really slippery. When you get down to 40%, like anything below 50, you start to get slippery. Now, still, it's substantially more grip than a lot of other cars in Real Racing 3. I mean, like, come on now. Even at this point, this is more grip than the SF90 fully upgraded. But nah, we're getting pretty low. And all that going off track is not helping things. That's definitely going to be hurting me more and more and more. Okay, well, still don't have to be too concerned. I mean, I don't have to be in first place, but might as well, right? You get better M earnings, and why not? If you can finish first, why not finish first? In this type of event. And we'll see. Sometimes in required PR events, this does bite you in the butt. I don't know what the last stage will be like the very last day or the last races. Hopefully they haven't screwed anything up. Sometimes in other required PR events, there's been screw-ups. Like, they give you a certain amount of fuel to finish the race in, and they forget that you had to do a partial lap, and so you don't have enough fuel to finish. And that can be a problem. Sometimes that made it 100% impossible. Other times it made it so that you had to get creative with it. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm hoping that this is a glitch-free event. All right, well, there we go. That's the end of Stage 2. Please like, please subscribe, check out the playlist link and some other videos, and I will bring you Stage 3 shortly.